This is the Rebel Author Podcast, where we talk about books, business, and occasionally bad words. Hello, Rebels, and welcome to episode 11 of The Black Herron. No books today, we just had a lovely chat, a little bit of a craft chat too. So enjoy the episode.
Well, hello, Sasha Black.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm sleepy. And it's so funny that we record on literally opposite ends of the world. Like if I dug through the world, I would end up in like northern Spain. So it is not far. That's my antipode from here. So you are just getting ready to go to bed and I'm just waking up.
What time is it for you?
It's 7. But I already have had one meeting, so
oh wow, what? Oh my god.
That's how it goes.
Sorry.
Hello, family.
Yes, family is already in the call.
Is that Chloe?
It is, yeah. Sorry.
What did she just give you?
No comment.
It looked like Post-its is why I asked.
No, it's my poison of choice. It's chocolate.
Looks so good. That's actually better than Post-its.
Yeah, it's definitely better than Post-its. I'm kind of like, oh, but I will save it for afterwards. Otherwise, this will become ASMR instead of actually a podcast.
I don't know. Some people might really, really like that. Tell me how you are.
Do you feel about? Well, no, hang on, hold on. How do you feel about ASMR?
What an interesting question. It freaks me out because I think I would like it too much. Like it makes me almost uncomfortable. How do you feel?
So I don't like the mouth chewing sounds. I get kind of aggressive at the dinner table if there are like any mouth chewing sounds.
And the whispering does nothing for me. Like that creeps me out. But other things?
Yeah, I think there are probably other things that would work. I'm sure I listened to something, but I can't remember what it was because we had a whole discussion in my Slack group and they were all like desperately trying to find some ASMR that I would like. But do you ever listen to like the binaural beats things? So I can't stand that either. That sends me wacko.
Much.
Like I hate it. Makes me feel dizzy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like I feel like I'm on a ship.
The binaural really works for my brain, but the thing that I can't do is like the white noise, which is the with the variegated movement of the sound. So like the crowd noise will move from one side of your head to the other side of your head while the waves are going around. That makes me feel dizzy. I can't do that.
Okay, so I do like things like thunderstorms. Stuff like that. That's kind of like a monotonous. That
I have
kind
a
of
perfect mix of pink noise and crowd, and I think there might be a little bit of storm in there too. And that is just, and then I pay extra. I paid extra for that. I bought the app a long time ago because when you have, it's just called the white noise app, I think. But then you can layer it over music. So I could just turn my brain off. I put on like a lo-fi, whatever, a lo-fi study music, and then put the pink noise and a little bit of crowd. And if I am anywhere, I don't usually need it here at the desk because it's really quiet, but if I'm anywhere else, it just puts me into Zen.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I listen to a lot of like just piano music as well, like because there's no lyrics. Like the minute there's words, I can listen to words whilst writing, but they have to suit the tone of the scene. So like I often create playlists for a book, but then I'm stuffed because I can only listen to that playlist whilst writing.
Exactly. And have you ever accidentally heard the song that's on the playlist elsewhere and you're transported into the book? Not comfortable.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I probably have. And then I'm like, oh, but actually that's not too bad because sometimes I'll get scene ideas, right? So then that's not.
I read this one really, 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 really sad book in which a young boy dies and like the death scene. I listened to this Moby song that was so tragic. And now if I hear that Moby song, I want to weep. And I don't always remember why, but suddenly I'm so sad because I lost the
Music
character.
is so powerful though. Like, don't you think it's one of the most, like with smell, I think music and smell are two of the most potent, like emotion causing things that are not like other humans, kind of.
And to pair those, if we're writing, to have the right music and the right candle and whatever it is, that could be super, super helpful, I think, personally.
Yeah, well, that's why I used to, I still do it sometimes, but why I start a new candle when I start drafting to try and beat the candle, like, because then I also get the aroma. And so sometimes books smell of certain things to me.
You tried to beat the candle? That is so smart.
Have we never talked about this?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay. So I know that I write about 2,000 words an hour on average when I'm drafting. Like if I draft with people, it's slightly more. If I'm drafting alone, it's slightly less. But like over the course of a novel, it averages to about 2,000 an hour, which means an 80,000 word novel is 40 hours, right? And you can get 40-hour candles. So Little Miss competitive.
You're literally competing against the candle. I love it so much. But I always find that the candles lie. Like a 4-hour taper is going to be 2.5. So
the bigger they are, generally, the more reliable they seem to get for me. Yeah. But also just write faster. You still have to beat it.
It's genius. And have you done it? You've done it. You've beat the candle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I never failed to beat the candle. I got close once.
Good excuse to buy the $50 candle, because the really nice ones are so expensive. But
and I have to, and so it's like a whole fucking charade, because I won't just have any candle. It has to smell right for the book. And so like when I say this to Chloe, she's like because she knows we're going candle shopping, and it's like and I'm like, and smell this one, and smell this one, and smell this one.
What is your scent profile usually?
Okay, so my preference for like personal perfume is anything with oud. So I really like Middle Eastern smells, very deep, very like potent. Yeah, oud. I do quite like sometimes like a rose in there, like that. It can be a bit hit and miss with that. On Chloe, I love anything like sandalwood, cedarwood, bergamot. Bergamot is a smell with her quite a lot. Is it vetiver? I think that's another one as well. Yeah. For me though, I change perfumes really badly. Like nothing ever smells the same on me as it does in the bottle. I don't know why. So I have to leave it on for a bit and then see if it smells nice after. Whereas Chloe doesn't really change smells. They smell like, so she wears the Sauvage. Do you know the Johnny Depp? That one. Like, oh, it's like in a blue bottle, and it's a Johnny. So whenever anyone wears that, I'm like, I love that. But yeah, we're quite a perfume household. Like whenever we go to the airport, we're like, shall we get a new smell?
That's amazing. So what kind of candle?
I mean, like similar. So,
yeah,
similar. I would say I do love a lavender as well, and I think that's because there were a couple of books that kind of had a lavender, so that kind of embedded. But I will do rose. I will do. I had like a more woody smell for one of the books.
I like the woody, the tobacco, the cedar,
those.
That's what I want for books. For my body, I want oud, Mitsuoko, or like any of the really deep, rich ones. Yeah.
It's so interesting, isn't it? I love it. But yeah, beat the candle. I challenge you to do one.
I love this. This is such a good excuse to buy a candle.
And you're going into winter, so
exactly. I burn candles all the time. Oh, I love them. It's just getting light now. It's like 7, almost 7:30, and it's still pretty dark outside. So yeah, and I'm all bundled up.
Yeah. So how are you?
I'm good. I feel a little bit crazed busy. I don't know how you feel, at the end of a month, but there's always so many things to like wrap up and do and package and, get our podcast up and out. And, I always write my Patreon essay, and it's always late. It's always like coming in right at the last minute. So I'm feeling I'm feeling a little bit busy. Oh, I shared it on my podcast and I shared it with you, but I didn't share it on the Black Heron that I did sell 7 Miracles of Beatrix Holland. So that will be coming out in 2025 from Grand Central. And it's
amazing. 2025. Do you have a month yet?
I think very early, like January, February is, I think, what they
so
said.
Exciting.
So
and when will you have like more info? Like, is it coming hardback first or is it going into paper? Do you know anything?
They when we were talking at first, they said, we're seeing this as a hardcover, and both me and my agent were like, really? Because it's lightweight. I think it's lightweight paranormal. I think they're going to try to pitch it as women's fiction magical realism, which is fine. It could suit that, but I think it's light paranormal. So that to me is a trade paper. And they paid me just above what I can't say what it is. Someday I will say, but I got in trouble the last time I said it on the podcast when it was like a new
wait
book.
a year until
exactly
it's,
a year, then nobody cares. But they paid me enough to take it off my desk. I know I shared with you that I will share this. The first offer we got from a reputable traditional publisher was $3,000. And I was like, no.
Did you show 3 fingers? Wait, hang on. This one. Yeah.
Come on.
Who would actually do that though? Like, I can understand that for a translation or like, some kind of subwrite, but you don't do that for English language, because you can make way more than that. Like,
I don't
why
think
would
people
you
know that. There's a woman who's in a very similar genre. Hers is not queer, but it is like, practical magic, light kind of thing. And I follow her on Book Talk, and she's been hyping the book for like a year. It's also, and then I found out it's from the same publisher, and she's a debut author. So I'm sure that she took the 3,000 or the 4,000, and that's who takes it, is a new author who doesn't know that, like, you will make that over and over and over again. Hopefully you'll make that over and over again, especially if you have any kind of list or any kind of ability to build one.
The problem is, when they only spend 3,000 acquiring a book, they have no incentive to try and earn that money back, because they know damn well it will come from the big sellers. So then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because they're not likely to give you a marketing budget. So it just, it's
the only good thing about taking a smaller deal is that you will probably earn out and then be able to sell another book. But would you want to do that? I don't know. So anyway, the other one is big enough, and I love the editor, so I'm super excited to work on it. But she didn't think there was much work to do, which was a pleasure to hear, because I'd gotten it ready for self-publishing. It was already wonderfully edited by one of my favorite editors, and I did those developmental edits, and so the new editor will have a few little tweaks. Did I share with you? I shouldn't say this, but my agent will never listen to this, but my agent had asked for a specific change, which I was like, I don't love that, but I'll just do it, whatever, it's a book. And that was the thing that the editor was like, can we take that out? And my agent was on the call.
Do you feel very, very validated right now?
I felt a little validated. She does. This is interesting though. She does want, because I think it's 93,000, which is like my sweet spot for a book. She does want to get it down to about 80. She said that's their sweet spot for this particular genre, which to me feels really short. So she did have an idea of what story. There's a very small storyline that I can easily lift out, and I'm not married to. So she suggested that, but I feel like that's quite short, don't you?
That's I mean, I write books that are around between 84 and 86. Okay. Typically. Yeah. I mean, that's where I naturally end.
Feel very full and long and good. Like, that's a good length. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, between 84 and 86 is like a really happy spot for me, because it's long enough that it's over 300 pages, but it's not over 4 or 5. I wrote 125,000 word book, and that was like that was a lot. Like, that was a lot for everybody involved. Like, I don't need to do that again. That's too much for my activator.
Yeah. And I'm an overwriter by nature. So to take out, 10,000 words or so will be fun for me because I really, really do like to cut. Are you an
Yeah.
overwriter by nature or an underwriter?
No, under.
Oh, I feel
Yeah.
like
So my first drafts are usually 70.
oh, I feel like
Yeah.
everybody knows on a gut level if you've written more than 20,000 words in your life. I feel like everybody knows what they are. I've
Yeah.
never asked a
Yeah.
writer who says, "Oh, that's interesting. I don't know." Everybody knows if they're an underwriter and overwriter.
Chronically underwriting. And it's usually
That's so nice. That must
is
be
it
so
though?
nice.
Is it?
Yes, yes. It's like so maybe it's like straight hair, curly hair. Like you always want the one you don't
Yeah,
have.
definitely. Yeah, for sure. Because then like, oh, I tell you though, I used a new editor this time. Fuck me. Best editor I've ever had. I'm literally, yeah. Well, I don't know. I had a very good editor when I first started writing as well, actually. But
Isn't that wonderful to find
this
though?
this new editor just literally blew my mind. And she pushed me so hard as well to like
Good.
fix things and make things better. And like she had this really good eye for structure. And I just feel like she has made this book so fucking good. And I am like, as I handed it to her, I was concerned because I didn't have the same level of excitement as book one. By the time she handed the copy edits back, I was so fucking buzzed for this book that like that was it. Like I had the full excitement again. Like she'd made me proud of it. And yeah, although I have to say she took it from 88K down to 84. So everybody gets words cut.
So was she kind of doing a combo developmental edit with a copy edit?
So she offered 3 rounds. I took 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I did do a dev edit, although I did say I'm not sure if we need a dev edit because it has been, my beta and I are like quite comprehensive in what we do. Like it was very different from the first draft.
Yeah.
And actually she only had 3 changes, of which 2 needed new scenes adding. So it wasn't like that, it was pretty clean by the time it got to her, but all edited. I just cannot tell you how good she was. Like she really made me excited to be working with her, and like that was wonderful because I haven't felt that in a long time.
Oh,
So
I love that.
yeah, I don't think I'll be leaving her anytime soon.
A good editor is so important. I've been working with the same editor for gosh, so many years now, and she was in trad, and she was a knitter. I know her through the knitting world, and she once read something of mine that was on like this website like contest thing before I was ever published, and she wrote to me, and I didn't know her well. I just knew she was an editor, and we knew each other peripherally in the knitting world. And she sent me a message, and it said, "You will be published." And it was so because she believed that I could bring a book into the world, and
we all need somebody like that.
we need somebody like that. And then, when I started doing the self-publishing, I started hiring her, and she is so kind, but also doesn't let anything get by. And I've learned more from her about language usage and about structure than I ever did anywhere else. Just being edited.
What I really liked is that this editor did not bullshit or wrap me in any cotton wool, which my command really appreciates the clarity. Like I don't really need the cotton wool, but what she did do was she was like, in that sort of first round, it was like, there's a lot to like here. And I was like,
oh, that's that's worrying.
Yeah. And then like by the time we got to the final round, she was like, I love the changes. And I was like, fuck yes, now I know she means it, so yeah, so like that was really good. The book is with advanced readers.
Oh my God, when does it come out?
June the 22nd,
which is like in 1 minute.
Yes, I am starting book 3 tomorrow. I have to write and edit book 3 before I go on holiday on the 17th of July. 18th of July.
That's 6 weeks.
Now. It's tight.
You tight. Love that kind of pressure. Like as you are like saying, "Oh, it's tight. It's gonna be hard." Your face is like, "I'm so excited."
Dare you? Dare you be so accurate, and you're calling out of me.
You are so happy about this.
I'm
so are you excited about the drafting? Do you have, because I know you have a pretty extensive thinking / planning phase, yeah?
So yeah, I was going to talk to you. I was going to ask you a question actually.
Please.
So this is my outline here. My outline is not as comprehensive as it normally is. I would say the first 40% this time is like a movie at this point. So I know the first 40% is going to go very quickly. I have like the roadmap of the whole story. And the same thing happened to me with book 2. And because it's fantasy romance, you have to have as much plot as romance.
Yeah.
And where I stumbled in starting last time was not understanding the core conflict between the two, or maybe not the conflict, because I knew what had happened, but I didn't kind of understand their differences connected to like their wounds and stuff. So I guess my question to you is like, how do you intellect on that? Or how do you give yourself questions like about the relationship? Because they have to almost be like a juxtaposition to each other, or two sides of the same coin, right? There has to be some kind of opposite yin yang that pulls them together. And I think I'm about there now with them, but like, I don't know, talk to me about how you do that. Because
when I'm writing romance, I've learned, but so many times the hard way is that even if they are, often our characters are rather similar, but if their core desire is opposite as I can make it, even if they are perfect for each other, even if they want the same end goal, if the reason for wanting the end goal is different enough, that will produce conflict. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. So book 3 is a competition.
And it's new characters, or are we following the same characters? I can't remember.
We're following no. I'm not going to. Right. I won't say the names, but it's another one of the characters from the group.
Okay, great. Great.
So this character, okay. So so we've got, and one new character. So we've got one character who kind of came from poverty, but is a self-made millionaire. And then you've got one character who's super wealthy, legacy, old money, but was never good enough for her parents. Like nothing she does is good enough. So I kind of feel like that, like you've got one who's like brought up in kind of scarcity, but had to fight through to make the money. And then you've got one who like is trying to prove herself. So it's like they're both trying to prove themselves, but in different ways, kind of like, yeah.
I know that we have talked about the Enneagram, and I know that I don't fully buy it in terms of, who we are. I would love to buy it a little bit harder than I do. However, because I always feel like I'm a little bit of everything. Like there's 3 I could really strongly be. And we've talked about it. And I heard you talk to Claire Taylor. Is that her name? There was a fantastic episode. Fantastic. Yeah. But I find the Enneagram really useful for characters in terms of like their core wounds and wants. Have you looked at that for those 2 characters? Do you know what they are?
I don't. I think more in strengths than I do the Enneagram. So I don't know enough about it. So I could probably tell you their strengths, but I don't know.
Tell me their strengths off the top of your head.
Okay, so
all right, welcome back, listener. We just had to bleep out Sasha's saying of the character's name. We're gonna call them X and Y. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. So X is learner, inputs, intellection, all green, mostly green, I would say. Whereas character Y is, so character X also has some self-assurance in there, probably command, I would say, but mostly green, whereas analytical as well. Whereas character Y is a bit more on the executing strengths, I would say, probably more executing. Definitely, they're both very competitive. I don't know if they have competition though, but they are super competitive. I would say Y has significance, probably strategic in terms of greens, and then a lot of executing, achiever for sure.
So I'm wondering if, okay, I'm just going to throw this at you, because what if X was all of, the thinking, but the one thing that they have, like maybe their number one is competition. Okay. But really don't know how to compete, but they will compete no matter what. And then they'll think really hard about it. But our executor here has less of it to, like complicate them that way.
Yeah, like Y feels very petty. Y is like a petty, they're petty competitive, whereas like
Yes.
X is more like feel the burn competitive.
Feel the burn, I must succeed. Is X the poverty or the legacy wealth?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
then
Y is petty legacy, X is poverty.
Oh, poverty competition hype. And I
Yeah.
mean, and make them competition number one. That's your number one. And you'll be able to,
Okay.
lean into that and understand why they're doing it.
Okay.
Whereas
I feel
with
like they're quietly,
significance, for Y, that'll be why they do things. You feel like
and
they're
also
quietly
their
why?
wounds.
Yeah.
Like that's all all the wounds come from
Mhm.
there. Yeah, I feel like the X character is like quietly competitive, so not like your typical yellow person who's like super extroverted or whatever. They're kind of quietly competitive. Yeah, okay, this helps me hugely. Thank you
Quietly
for this.
competitive, but like so it doesn't show on the outside. Like everybody knows that you are
Everybody know.
competition. But for
Yeah.
this one, perhaps it's a little bit secret. Like
Yeah,
that is the
exactly.
drive, is that they
Yeah.
have to win.
Yes. Yeah. Okay,
Well, they
cool.
both obviously have to win.
Including character Y, they have to win character Y too.
Mhm. That's gonna be so fun.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to start drafting again. It's my happy
Oh.
place.
So we're a couple months out, like I don't know, 4 months out from release of book 1. How is that feeling to you? How has it been? Has it still been selling? Have you been hearing from people? What's going on with that?
It has been a whirlwind, I would say, because so I don't know how much I can say really. I probably can't say anything, but what I will say is that I've got offers on the table from places, which is unexpected, and no offers have gone over the line yet. Some are at contract stage, but I would love to start talking about them when they do go over, if they go over. So that's been like very, very, very unexpected, because it took a lot longer for that to happen with the nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, like I would, yeah, I don't know. I am so happy to be writing this that like I'm really kind of determined to make some money. So I've already plotted out like the whole to end of next year, and I want to have a number of books, and I'm hoping that because it's now public knowledge that I am reducing my hours with the Alliance of Independent Authors, that I should be able to speed up production. So I'm going down to like just, I think it's like 12 hours a quarter or something. It's like 3 hours a month. Yeah, so I'm essentially now more, well, that is full time.
That's full time.
Who doesn't lose an afternoon a month, right?
Exactly. How does that feel to be headed towards this full time?
Bittersweet, because I fucking adore Ally. Like
I'm glad you get to stay a little bit.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like when that got arranged, I was like, I literally nearly cried with gratitude, because like I didn't really want to leave. But also I actually cannot continue to work the hours that I've been working, and I'm exhausted. And I think if I had continued, I probably would have ended up in burnout. And of course, we all leave our day jobs to write full time. So the fact that the fiction is showing a lot of potential, it was time. It was time.
That is so amazing.
Yeah. So.
All right, I just had to pause quickly because of the dog. I'm so excited for you, though.
I'm excited and terrified in equal measure.
All right, what are you terrified of?
It is a financial drop. I do have a mortgage.
Yeah.
I mean, so, obviously having, it's quite a number of hours. It's between like 30 and 50 hours a month. So it's quite a lot of time back. So, and between 30 and 50, that's technically a book a month. If that's a book at 40 hours, it's a book. So theoretically, it should see an increase in production. Of course, it doesn't always work like that in practice. Because some of the reduction is about my need to actually have evenings off.
Yes,
which I haven't been doing. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but so the terror is kind of just having the faith in myself that I will make the money.
Yeah. I really look forward to you doing that, to just your success. I really look forward to
Thank
watching
you.
you say, remember when I was so scared? I don't know if we ever say that though. I don't know if we ever say, remember when I was so scared and that I couldn't do that. I think we're always scared. And that's,
Always.
and that's probably good.
I do think that like the leap of faith, to have that faith in yourself, like, and to either reduce, when you have grown up in some kind of employment, to have that faith in yourself and to reduce is honestly so terrifying. Like, yeah,
I grew up kind of not, we grew up poor, just poor, refried beans for dinner 3 times a week kind of thing. I didn't know that we were poor. They did a good job of hiding that from us, but we never got new clothes or anything like that. But I wanted money. I always wanted money. I was always entrepreneurial. And I got my first job at 14. We were living overseas and I worked as a secretary, like I was actually doing secretarial jobs. And I worked from 14 to, I quit my job, say 2016. So I would have been 44. So 30 years, even though I was only four, is that the right math? Yeah, that sounds about right. 14 to 44. And the day I handed in my notice, I went into my boss's office and I worked 48-hour shifts at that point. So I think I was in day 2 of that shift, but I walked into my boss's office and I told her that I needed to put in my notice, and then I had to go home sick with a migraine. And it was major to go home sick because you had to get somebody to come in and work the last 18 hours of your shift on their day off. But I couldn't. I was so stressed out just to have that conversation. How did you feel going into that conversation?
They knew that he had a feeling, like he knew
How
me
did
quite
they
well.
know?
I don't know. So I brought both of them together because I had sort of 2 managers, and the one who was like, I feel like he might have had more empathy or something. He had a lot more blue strengths, and he just knew. He just knew. He sat there and smiled as I was like trying not to cry as I said it, and he was like, I knew it was coming, like well done, congratulations, kind of thing. But I don't think I have ever felt so terrified. Like I've done a lot of things in my life, and that was probably the most terrifying thing I've ever done.
Me too.
Like
Me too.
for sure. I remember the day that I left, though, I was always like, I will walk out in Christian Louboutin shoes. So the day that I left, I barely did any work. I think I finished at I think I only worked like 2 hours in the morning, and then I was like, right, it's time to go. So I packed up my laptop, took it to the office, and I like walked out around lunchtime wearing Louboutin shoes. Like I just fucking strutted my shit right the fuck out the door, and that was the end of it.
That is beautiful that you had this goal and then you did it.
Yeah,
did it in exactly the way. Again, like your face is just like glowing. It's terrifying, but it's so perfect for you. This is going to be so perfect for you.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, well, fingers crossed.
People love your work. You have an audience. Your writing is smashing. I'm just so excited for this. Oh my God.
So what are you working on?
I am finally, so I also finally got out the how to publish in today's market class. I finally got that out the door, and it just took so much longer than I thought it would, especially for the editing, and Teachable doesn't have closed captioning, and it was a really long course. So there's a lot to handle in that, and got it out the door, and I priced it at a higher price point than I felt comfortable with, and it just was nagging me. And I dropped it to 50% off, and I'm just going to leave it there for a while. And that made me happy. Now it is at an affordable price, and I'm offering scholarships for anybody who is of many, to anyone basically who asks for it. And it made me feel so much better. And that's weird because I know my worth. I like to sell the things that are good. And it's not about that. It's about, I don't know. It felt good for me to drop the price, and it sold more too when I did that. So that worked as well. And so that's out the door. And now I'm back into the recovery memoir, which has been sitting on my agent's desk for forever. And she asked for a pretty So that memoir was told in like a past tense with a present tense, past tense, present tense over the course of 12 months, 1 year of this, all of this stuff happening. And she asked me to try pushing the past and the present into just one chapter. And because one was like happening, one was reflection. And it's going to work either way, but I'm not averse to trying it her way. So she wants me to do 3 chapters, smush them, and then do a proposal, and then she'll take it out. And this is one that I'm also very, very, very happy to self-publish, and was planning on doing. But I have to say, it's kind of been fun because I have been away for it for so many months that it feels new to me. And smushing together is making me have to cut and be really creative. Also, I have to say this about ChatGPT, is that I had this long, I really like writing in present tense for memoir, as if I am in that moment. But for this, I'm trying past tense. So I took this big chunk of present tense and put it into ChatGPT and asked it to put it in a past tense, and it did it perfectly. Perfectly. Like, the dialogue was a little stilted. I had to change, like, I will go to the store, I'll go to the store. But otherwise it was so good, and it was so fast, and it was, those kind of changes are so fiddly because you'll have to make 4 tiny changes to tenses in each sentence, and you always miss some, and it didn't miss any.
Two things about that. One is about the smushing, and the other one's about GPT. I'll do the smushing first because GPT is easier to remember. I love that you have an agent to challenge you like that, because I do feel like sometimes when we are indie authors, if we don't keep getting some kind of editorial pushback or challenge, we go stale and stagnant. And I really, high learner, but I really love being challenged and that kind of deliberate practice to change things up. And yeah, so I love that you have that. Like, that would bring me joy to be told to do that and to like experiment with like how that works.
It does not bring me joy. It brings me it brings me attitude, and I don't want to do it. But you're exactly right. As an indie writer, and a proud indie writer, I know that I can get precious about my writing. I know that I can be like this. I've thought so hard about this. I'm really good at this job. I've hired an editor who agreed with me. How dare you? And then it's always after I think that if somebody gives me an idea and I say, oh no, that's not going to work for the book, fabulous. If somebody gives me an idea and I say, how dare you? Then they're probably right. You know what I mean? If I have a strong emotional reaction to how fucked up it is, I really need to think about it, because it's probably good.
My usual response is, oh, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. If your answer is yes, if your answer is, oh, for fuck's sake, then you probably should do it. If your answer is like, oh, no, thank you, no, that's okay. If it's mild, then you're good. You're still solid. Oh, bugger.
Yeah, which is why when I worked with this new editor and I got the email, and my immediate response was, for fuck's sake. I knew that this was like gold dust.
That's wonderful. What were you going to say about the ChatGPT?
Oh my God, I love ChatGPT. Like, praise Joe for telling everybody to use it, because oh my God, it is so fucking good. Here's the real test, right, for me, because I have used GPT to outline. So the outline that I have here is not. So I have got about 8,000 words of outline from GPT that I have like used and kind of prompted and tweaked and iterated, but I still have had to come back to hand outlining. The problem that I'm having is that I can't seem to like outline the back end, even though I know the whole story. So on the one hand, GPT has sped me up, because usually I will hand outline 3 times and have to talk the plot out to somebody before I can start writing. I haven't done that this time, and yet I feel like some parts of this outline are far sturdier than I ever start with. So I'm really curious to see what happens this time. Very curious.
I'm looking forward to my next drafting of a novel, because I really want to use ChatGPT to bounce ideas off during too. Like you could say, here's the story, you know, what could happen, what 7 things could happen next if these parameters are already set up. And then are you gonna play with that?
Yeah. And I've done things like, so there's 4 challenges in the competition, and I am not great at coming up with that Hunger Games style challenge. So I worked with it. I gave it some parameters and said, it has to be like this kind of thing. What are the options? But then I've gone even deeper, and I've gone like, well, what are some of the magical language that I should be using? Like, what are some of the technical terms I should, like, how do I make this person sound like a nerd, right? Like, but in this very niche technical area. And so like, there's things like that. And that stuff is like blowing my mind.
Because we could think and iterate and eventually get there, perhaps, but to be thrown all of these ideas and then be able to catch them and twist them and make them exactly what we want. Because it's never perfect. Like it doesn't say something and you go like, you're like, that's it. No, but what it does is it's like having the conversation with your really smart writing friends over lunch where they're all throwing ideas and you go, no, I hate all of those, but you just made me think of this.
So that's exactly kind of how I had, and that is why I've still had to come back here, because everything that it's given me is like, I feel like there's 2 schools of people. Either you are prompting GPT to create prose, or you are using GPT to give you the prompts to create the prose. And I'm that way round.
You just crystallize something about the way I think about AI as it is right now, is that it's going to be super useful or put people out of a job who are doing the rote writing that is like to report on something or to explain how this, little miniature fan works. ChatGPT will do that. But for the creatives, we're using it for idea generation. And, that's the difference. That's the difference.
I mean, I do think it will eventually be able to write novels as good as a novel writer, but I think but I think it's like, are you going to fight against the wave, or are you going to grab a surfboard?
Yes.
Like, where's the fucking surfboard?
It will be able to write. It will be able to write good books. And I believe, everybody's like, well, it won't be able to bring in emotion. It will learn how to bring in an emotion.
Oh, no, it will. Yeah. But however, it can never be a human. You still have to market those books, right? Exactly. So you still have to, and as an indie authors, we are very, very good at branding and being people and humans and having that's a thing that draws people to us. I'm not worried, to be honest. I'm
not worried anymore. I really, really was. But the fact is that I will always be giving my money to somebody that I can see or, hear. Like when Sasha writes a book, I want Sasha's book. If AI wrote a book that was similar, I still want the book with Sasha's heart underneath it. And I will always want that. And that's going to see us through our lifetime, I believe. I signed up for Joanna Penn's hi Joe, I know she listens to her AI like live webinar thing.
I've been thinking about that.
I think you should, because what she's doing, I was chatting to her the other day, what she's doing is she's just spending those 2 hours taking people through, like, here's how I prompt this is what pseudo write looks like, because I actually never even looked inside pseudo write. She explained something that I stupidly didn't know, because I feel like, I'm always trying to learn these things and I'm really fascinated by all this stuff, but there's big holes in my knowledge and I'm trying to close those holes. And that's what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. But I said, I asked her, like, how do I keep on top of all of the technology? Like every single day, there's like 12 new different apps that will help you do something differently. And they're all AI and she said, right now they're all running on OpenAI. It's the same thing. So if you can prompt, if you learn how to do all of these things over here, they're all running on the same systems right now. I thought there were like 43,000 new AI systems every day. Okay, that made me feel a lot better. There's still the large language model that is just powering all this.
Yeah, no, I think there was a new one, and I may be mistaken because I'm not very good at the technical stuff, but I think Amazon have just released Bedrock, which I think is their own version.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, it is it is, but I don't know if that's actually like released. I don't know. I am really not technical enough. I just think that it's cool to play with. And I'm not even an early adopter. I wouldn't say I'm an early adopter either. I would say I'm like early middle. Like
I'm early middle. I'm early middle. On the middle side, I am always early. And in terms of tech, I usually have all of the gadgets.
Yeah.
But in terms of
love a gadget.
I love a gadget, and I will be early for that. But in terms of like all of this stuff, I just think it's super exciting. I think it's super exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited for the shortcutting of my processes. Yes. Like that's what excites me, is that like actually
I need to remember to use it. That's my problem.
Yeah. So I am using it for as much as humanly possible, but what I'm using it for is the things that I don't like. Social media captions. It writes amazing social media captions.
Yes.
Like the number of fucking times that you have, like, I hate writing social media captions. Like I like doing stories because it's my voice and my face and I can just riff off of, you know, but I like to write the captions for the I just hate it. So I get it to do it now. Anything that you don't like, just get it to do. It's amazing.
I have a little post-it on my desk that says, how can I use AI today?
Oh my
just
God,
to remind me to think like, what don't I want to do today, and how could I use systems to help? Because otherwise I will forget.
No, I love it though. I love it. That's exactly it. Like, might as well use the tech. That's what it's there for, right? Like before, you know, it takes over the world or whatever.
All right, so that's what I'm doing, and hopefully to get that full proposal out this month. And I'm still, you know, doing my 500 words a day and working on this writing mindset book. And then I'm gonna, you know, after that memoir, I'm going to, I think, edit The New Zealanders and do a Kickstarter. And I will admit on our podcast that I was in for the Kickstarter and then I was out for the Kickstarter with you and AK.
Yeah,
we still wanting to be my friend. I was like, oh, they're gonna punch me in the nose.
No, we have extended the timelines though, because we were like,
it's gonna be so good with the two of you. It's gonna be fantastic, and perhaps even better because you'll be able to, you know, like it won't be spread out over 3 people. It'll just be 2 people. It'll be great, and I can't wait to help you promote it.
Yeah, I am excited. Like we came up with quite a lot of ideas and stuff this morning, so I am excited for what it will be. I don't know if the last time we spoke, Vegas was announced. Was Vegas announced?
I don't think so. I don't think it was. It was still a secret.
Yeah. So it just reminded you talking about sort of mindset and stuff. The fact that I have to write a keynote. So like I don't know what I'm going to say yet.
Keynotes, I've only done a few of them, and I really take them so seriously. Like that keynote address, like I spend a lot of time crafting it. The dog is literally carrying my new azalea plant around in her mouth. Oh, please hold. I'll be right back. Literally like having a toddler. I swear to you, except she never stops. Okay, what were we saying?
Vegas, I think.
Oh, Vegas.
And keynotes.
Adore you so much that I was like, can I afford to go back? Because we're going in August to the States and I can't afford to do 2 trips, but I would. You're going to be amazing. Do they want a particular topic, or are they just like, be inspiring, Sasha?
They said, teach a little, motivate a lot.
Ew.
And that was kind
one or the other. Don't make me do both in one speech.
I know. So that was kind of and obviously about, you know, indie publishing in the, you know, so I sort of chose a topic, but I am now second guessing myself because I'm not sure, because like I do best when things are really tangible, and like obviously I'm mostly known for talking about craft. And what got me this gig was talking about pros in the market, but that doesn't feel like a keynote. A keynote is more, you know, it's inspirational. It you know.
The one thing I will always want to hear in a keynote, and what I try to deliver in a keynote, is your story. We forget that we're just always, you know, talking to our podcast audience or to our email audience, and we forget that the majority of the people there won't know your story. or they'll know a little bit about it. They'll know pieces, but they won't. What people love in a keynote is like where I was and how I got here and what I went through on the way. They want that. Like it was spoon fed. Like just, I wanted to listen to that all day long.
So there's like a couple of things. The first thing is that in my annual lessons learned, I always do a very similar final section, and without fail, everybody's like, you bastard, like you got my eyeballs sweating. Like that's the bit that gets people. And so that kind of like, I'm thinking about including something like that, but I'm not entirely sure. But what I do know is that I want to make people laugh, and then I want to gut them and make them cry.
Absolutely. You're going to be so flipping good at that. Are 20 books, are there, I can't remember, are they released later, like the seminars or the workshops? So people, so I'll be able to see it later anyway.
Yeah, it will be on YouTube. I think that one might be streamed live, actually, potentially. God. Yeah, potentially. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to double check, but yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm shitting my pants.
You're getting brought to the States to talk about writing. And I'm so proud of you.
If I think about it too much, I like stick in the back of my mouth. So I have to like not think about it too much. But I do have to start working on the session. Otherwise, like I won't have enough time to like intellect about it.
Yeah. All right. So by the time we talk next month, speaking of intellecting, you will have drafted 3/4 of your new book.
Well, depending on the date,
have drafted the whole time and then be into revision?
So my end date is June the 30th. That's for the draft.
Yeah.
The draft has to be done by June the 30th. So depending on when we talk, I might be in the final stages, depending on how late in June we talk.
We're going to have a 10-minute conversation. You're be like, Rachel, we're not talking today because I got to finish.
Or I'll be like, I'll what will probably happen is I'll be like, I have to fucking finish before I speak to her. I'm finish. So.
maybe we'll calendar like the last day now so we could work around it. I always forget to do that because the end of the month comes so fast. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I know it really does. Yes, and you will have.
I will have the proposal off my desk, which is like going to be probably like 50 to 80 pages, and I think that's really all I need to focus on. Maybe think about promoting some backlist. What's up?
You're not 90 Day to Dunning.
Oh, I am. I'm also doing that. So.
Oh my God! I'll have released book 2. Sorry. By the time we speak, I'll have released book 2. Fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah, you have a little bit to do. It's a good thing you don't. Are you on your way out at LA? Are you still working there or are you done?
I'm not done until October.
Oh no, your face just went.
Yeah. And just because of how much there still is to do. Like I literally said to my wife the other day, I was like, we've booked a holiday now. I'm going to have to work every fucking day up until that holiday in order to get everything done because like we have to work like 10 times as hard to take the time off.
Oh, but it'll be so worth it. It'll be so worth it.
It's so worth it because I'm going to sit on my ass like I'm like the best. I'm going to compete. It is going to be a competition to sit on my ass.
Where are you going?
Turkey. Just like cheap and cheerful Turkey on the with a pool, and it's all inclusive, so I don't have to cook. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been lovely. I'm going to go take care of the toddler now.
Yeah.
You can finally eat your chocolate.
I know. I'm like staring at it. It's staring at me aggressively.
All right, my friend. Happy writing. Bye.
Don't forget to tune in and subscribe on your podcatcher. And when you have a moment, please leave a review.